Hello, my name is Will Harper, and I am doing the International Marketing Strategy Simulation Country Management Asia thingy. I don't know. I'm sorry that the quality is really low, but this is going to be it'll be okay. I'm just going to go through a couple of different things. I have a couple of different points written down here about our strategy, as well as essentially what we did and what I think we could have done a little bit better in the decisions we made throughout the simulation. And so I'll start out by saying where we decided to go. We decided to enter into China, and pretty much our whole strategy was to try to get a little bit of each of the 3 points of the international marketing strategy triangle, in that being adaptation, aggregation, and arbitrage. And so the thing about it was, our first point of action was to make sure that we built a production plant within China, as that was going to be the greatest labor cost reductions that we could have gotten. And my hope was that we were going to be able to standardize production within each country and essentially adapt a product that was going to be necessary for each product, or for each country, something that was needed, a need that wasn't being satisfied, essentially, in creating its own thing for that country and achieving economies of scale by keeping these products consistent, while as well updating the advertising campaigns throughout it. However, this got a little bit off the rails, and I think that we made a couple pretty detrimental mistakes to it. Obviously, we decided to enter China first in order to avoid certain border crossing tariffs, as well as different sort of trade agreement taxes that we would have got on our goods and things like that. But China brought its own difficulties as well. And our first point of action was that we wanted to actually create a kids toothpaste within China. I think this was actually a very successful campaign, and it worked really well. However, the issue was, I feel like we should have gone all in on kids and kind of gone more in on aggregation as opposed to adaptation, whereas we tried to also get into the white industry, which I also feel was very successful. But the issue here was that those weren't the biggest industries, and we wanted to be involved in the biggest industry as well. So we got involved in economy, which I think overall was a big mistake. And I just think that it wasted a lot of money that we could have devoted towards promotion and advertising of kids and white toothpaste. I also think that we only stuck to one form of the medium toothpaste for each of the 3 kinds. I think what we should have done is gone through each of the 6 or 5 or 7, however many options it is for kids as well as white. I think we should have really tried to go all in on selling those and customizing those prices. And I think that this would have been successful because we wouldn't have had to update the products as much. On the period 3, we ended up moving into India, and I think this was the biggest mistake we made overall. I think we should have moved into Japan because of the better established markets. And we just had a lot of trouble competing in Japan, or in India, which I think was a big thing. With just not, we thought that the industry was going to grow a lot faster than it did throughout the periods, and that yielded a lot of hardships on us. And we also just couldn't figure out the advertising. We couldn't figure out why other companies were stealing market share from us. And an issue here was that we got pretty solid initial success in India, but later on we found that our market share was slowly declining, as well as with China. I think an issue here was, again, that we didn't focus on one strategy, and we didn't stick to that one strategy, which is something that I think we should have capitalized on when we were succeeding very well in the kids and the white toothpaste. And I think that would have been really successful to move that into Japan as well. Overall, I take a lot of positive insights from this experiment, or from this simulation, I would say. I think that it gives you a lot of it's easy to say that something could be very easy, and we read these articles throughout the entire semester detailing these people that make really bad mistakes when they're trying to enter foreign markets, and you realize that it's just as easy to do when you realize that you're not going to be getting easy success at the start. And I think that was something that we were okay with. However, we started to panic later on, and it started to cause us to abandon on our initial strategies and not stick with them, which I think is something that a lot of people need to keep with them, is that you need to stick with your initial strategy, and you need to have it well planned out, which I don't think we did, and I don't think we had initially discussed which of the 3 we wanted to go into, or which 2 of the 3 we wanted to focus on, and I think that was the issue there. But overall, I think I gained a great amount of experience from it, and I think that it gives me a better insight into what this class is all about, as well as what I can do from here on out to improve myself for that. Thank you very much. My name is Will Harper.